speaker. Kuya Lon, let's have the session.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, again, good afternoon, everyone. I hope the brothers, some of them are back, and I hope when they come back to the room, they're in a better frame of mind, because part of our topic this afternoon is really into this, no? Challenging experience. Okay, so this is talk number 5 of the course Emotions in the Christian Life. And the talk is on righteous and unrighteous anger. When I was preparing for this talk, I realized that going through the talk again, there's a lot of aspect to this emotion that I forgot, or maybe didn't really fully realize until I went through it again, and how actually it pervades, at least in my own life, very strongly. No? And anyone here who does not find an issue of anger? Yung wala akong anger. Kasi I will accept you agad. Pwede na tayo gawin. Okay. So just a quick run through of the different talks, no? Just quickly lang, no? And in talk 1, there were 3 areas more or less that you touched on: emotions, what the emotions are, and so on. Talk 2, this area of desires, talking about desires, right? If you still remember, okay. Talk 3 deals with problems of self-image and ways we feel about ourselves. Okay, and if you will notice, okay, in fact, talk 4, problems of guilt feelings versus matters of right and wrong. You still remember these topics, right? Okay, and I'm sure there are a number of questions there on these previous topics. Sana naubos na para wala na dito sa talk 2. Mamaya na lang sa second talk, joke sa naman ang nabibigay. But if you notice, on talk number 5, which is anger, righteous and unrighteous anger, we want to look into first what is anger all about and how it prevails in our life, and try to distinguish between what is righteous and unrighteous. Okay. So the goal this afternoon, within an hour hopefully, is we will try to see how we can deal with some of these unrighteous and sometimes irrational fear. Dealing with it does not mean we can handle it or control it tonight or today, but at least a knowledge of what steps to take to be able to control, to deal with this unrighteous and sometimes irrational anger. Okay? Second, have a firm grasp, because alam mo, brothers and sisters, after so many years in community, walking with the Lord, and I have forgotten this talk, my foundations course and all these courses, maybe like 30 years ago. So, who remembers most of those topics? Hindi, no? Unless it's Doc here na maganda ang memory, ako, nakalimutan ko na. But we need to be reminded of and have a good scriptural understanding of the place of anger in the Christian life. But the idea here, brothers and sisters, is when we go to this talk, we understand it, maybe not 100%, maybe 50%, but it's just a start for each one of us to address it in a right way. Diba? That's what we want to do, and hopefully that's what we want to accomplish this afternoon. Okay, so this course creates emotions that are focused on things that are outside of us and that are problematic or threatening. While the first 3 talks, talk 2 to talk 4, were focused about internal things, right? Guilt. What were some of those things? The first 3 talks, not the first one, kasi more overview yun, ano? Guilt feelings, confidence, These are more focused on ourselves, literally. When we talk about anger, we're talking about something that is triggered or something that is coming from outside. But having said that, what about being angry with yourself? Hindi yan focus outside. Focus yan sa sarili. Di ba? If you study it further, what makes you angry with yourself? Bakit ka nagagalit sa sarili mo? Kasi, kinikwento lang natin muna kasi ang sinasabi natin dito, anger is really things that are focused outside. But isip, paano kung galit ka sa sarili mo? And if you dig a little bit deeper into it, the reason is because of something outside where you compare, where you evaluated yourself against, and so you're angry with yourself. Again, you would say, yes, anger, galit ako sa sarili ko, but again, it is coming from, also from outside. Okay? Now, there are two main things this afternoon. Okay? The first two topics or sections of this talk will focus on fundamental understandings. That's what I'm showing here. Okay? What is anger about and how does it work? And a part of that, the next one is it treats the Christian approach to anger. Okay? This is something, brothers and sisters, that we need to understand because this is the way we understand, foundational understanding about anger. If that's not clear with us, we will have difficulty dealing with it in the future. Okay? Now, the second one is a practical approach, our teachings in community, in the sword of the Spirit, on how to take care or to handle these issues, or handle anger. Okay, so, but the practical approach, the help of your pastoral leaders on you, with you to deal with these issues, will have difficulty becoming resolved if the fundamental understanding is not in place. Okay? So, but part of this talk this afternoon is to, what are the general practical approaches, pastoral care we expect, we share with one another on how to handle this. Okay. As I mentioned, emotions are directed outward. Okay? And when we look at this emotion of anger together with fear, this is what we said, it is focused, outside focus. Now, anger takes many forms. Losing our temper. Paano ba sa Tagalog yan? Nagwala. I lost my temper. Okay. Sa asawa ko, sa anak ko, sa opisina ko. Okay. That's one form. Losing it. Diba? Okay. Cold anger. That's another form. Don't you know, brothers and sisters, that negativity is another form of anger? Wala yan. Yun, umiyak na tuloy. Okay. Resentment. That's a form of anger. Did you realize that? Okay. Let's look at losing our temper. Losing our temper, kanina may mga pulis tayo kausap, ha? O kausap ang pulis. Okay, so hostile actions, mahirap na makamahuli. Okay, but how is it manifested? How do you observe this? Hostile actions, attacking others, madali na ito makikita, di ba? Okay? Hitting things, pagpapang ng pintuan, verbal abuse, irritability, okay? These are manifestations of losing our cool, losing our temper. Okay, this is something that we're familiar with. Maybe a number of these we actually have done, and maybe some of these we have difficulty working out and trying to resolve some of these things. By the way, I was thinking, brothers and sisters, papunta ako dito. You know, we're growing in an age that's becoming an angry world. Galit ang tao ngayon. So, siguro sila John or yung mga psychologists dito or ano, that is manifested, they may explain, be able to explain that. Maraming galit. Okay, cold anger. Giving others the silent treatment. Diba? Akala mo, pan lang yun. It's an action on your part. Ayaw mo siyang patiin. Pero ang root cause pala yung anger. It's another form of anger. Avoiding people. Avoiding, you know what? Kagaya dun sa power plant na pinagtatrabaho namin, may isang plant manager, pag iikot siya doon sa control room, lahat ng superintendent, ng mga o ibang operator, nawawala. So, di ba, sa iba sa inyo nagtatrabaho sa kumpanya, pag umiikot yung presidente, o baka kayo yung presidente, ano? Umiikot kayo, wala ng tao, tahimik. Yung pala lahat ng tao, alis din. Hindi nagpapakita sa atin. No? Sa atin, sinama ko na sarili ko. People avoid you. Or if we avoid, if that's our action, we don't want to see that person, then is another form of anger. Speaking to them in a distant and uninterested manner. Mga mister, sa mga misis, nagagawa ba natin ito? Okay? O baka naman si misis kay mister. Cold anger. Form of anger. Negativity. Okay? Anong example nitong sinisisan? Anong example? Sige nga. Ano bang Tagalog ng sinisisan? Tama ba yung pronounce no? Pag-pronounce ko? Sinisisi. Okay. Baka namin Bisaya mo ng pag-pronounce, sinisiguro ko lang. Anong example na? Anyone? Ayaw nyo magsilita, baka makasabihin kayo yun, ano? Signing. Criticalness. Lahat na lang mali. Di ba? Bad humor. Ayan. Actually, pinag-iisipan ko, under ba ang basis niya? Bad humor. And I realize, yes. Di ba? Pag ang joke mo nakaka-insulto, anong ibig sabihin nun? Talagang gusto mo siyang insultuin. Eh bakit mo siya gustong insultuin? Kasi galit ka. O masama ang loob mo. O di ganun pa rin ang kulot-dulo. Tama? Okay. Sarcasm. Anong example ng sarcasm? Magsalita naman kayo. Hindi ba yung sarcasm? Being sarcastic, right? It's a form of anger that we need to be aware of. Resentment. Okay? Sometimes we realize we have resentment, but we don't connect it that there is anger involved. There's anger at the way we have been treated in the past. Kaya may resentment. Hindi nag-smile yung husband sa akin. O hindi nakatingin sa akin. Kaya masama ang loob ko sa kanya. May resentment ako. Si lalaki naman, walang kamali sa mali siya, o walang hindi niya alam may problema na siya sa bahay. Resentment. Okay? So, these are many forms of anger that we need to understand. We need to realize this. Because these are things that we need to confess. We need to make right with our spouses, with our brothers and sisters, with our family, with our parents, and so on and so on. Okay, next one. Anger is natural. Right? Do you agree or disagree? Spin a wheel. Spin a wheel there. Okay. It's a natural human reaction and response. God gave us this emotion of anger. And you will see later that there is a purpose for it. And that if we do not have it, we will not be complete. We will have difficulty achieving what God wants us to achieve. To things that we do not want to happen, to have happened to us or to others. It's a natural response or reaction. The conditions we are in that we want to get rid of. Diba? And so, for us to be able to do it, we need that human reaction or response. It's directed towards obstacles in the way of something we see as desirable. We want to achieve something. We want to reach a certain point. We are a driver. We're driving an emergency, a patient. We need to get to the hospital. Diba? There is an anger in us because we want to bring the patient to drive that person to the hospital at the soonest possible time, right? You agree? Okay. So it's a natural human reaction or response. And more often than not, it is especially provoked by frustrations. Sino dito hindi pa na-frustrate? Okay. Pag na-frustrate tayo, di ba? Then we are motivated. Then we have that feeling to cry. Okay. Hindi kami yan. Okay. Anger is God-given. So remember this, brothers and sisters, it's natural human reaction or response. It is God-given. Anger is natural. It is God-given. It is something that God has given to us for us to fight, to defend ourselves or others, to overcome obstacles, to mobilize us to accomplish things that take effort. This is meant, anger therefore, is meant to be helpful to us. Now my question is, yung anger ba natin so far, nakakatulong ba o lalo napapasama ang sitwasyon natin? Maybe you want to think a little bit more on it, because if anger is God-given, then it's meant to be helpful to us. And then the question is, how come it's not helping me? It's even becoming worse. Diba? Anger can be good as well as bad. And so the crucial thing now, brothers and sisters, is that anger is neutral in the sense that you can do it, it can take effect mapapabuti o papasama. Okay? It's God-given, it is natural to have anger, but we have to realize that taken wrongly, it becomes a source of bad. Taken the right way, it's a source of good. Now, hindi na lang ako nagagalit ngayon kasi mataas na yung blood pressure ko, mataas na yung high blood ko. So huwag na ako magagalit. Di ba, narinig natin ng ganyan? Hindi na lang. Bahala na sila. Okay na ako. Kahit ano nang gagawin nila. Di ba? O, alam mo, pag nagagalit, masama yun eh. Narinig ba yun? Okay. Masama yun. To a point that maybe, depende kung paano tayo pinalaki, okay, malamang, paggalit, masama yun. Diba? And yet, what does Scripture tell us? What does Scripture tell us? Ito yung sinasabi ko. The chief obstacle for us being able to harness anger as an emotion that can be for good is because of that mindset or training or truth in our mind or perception that anger is wrong and therefore always a sin. Diba? Kung mali siya, makasalanan siya. Kaya huwag niyong gawin. Huwag kang magalit. Kasi pag nagalit ka, magkakasala kayo. That's a number of times we get that. Diba? It's a distortion of truth. Lalo na pag nabasa niyo yung Ephesians 4:31 in some scriptures. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you with all malice. So kita mo doon, pag pinasa mo yung Ephesians 4:31, hindi talaga maayos, mali talaga yung anger. Makakasala ka dyan. Tama? Because of this, nakadala. But that is not the scriptural view. It is in scripture. But if you study scriptures, brothers and sisters, that makes you kasi we do not judge a certain topic by just a scripture reading, but in context. So that is not the scriptural view. Scriptures are cautious, but not condemning. Pag nagalit kayo, hindi kayo pupunta sa impyerno. Hindi yan ang sinasabi ng scriptures. Ang sinasabi ng scriptures, be cautious, be wise, think through it. Yan ang sinasabi ng scriptures. Because even before verse 31, Ephesians 4:26 says, be angry, but do not sin. So, sinabi ni St. Paul sa Ephesians, huwag kayo magalit at masama yun. Pupunta kayo sa impyerno. That's wrong. That's in verse 31. But in verse 26, it says, be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Ibig sabihin nun, pwede pala magalit. Tama? In James 1:19, know this, my beloved brethren, let every man be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow in anger. Okay? May anger, pero hinahinay. Be cautious. But you can be angry. Proverbs 16, verse 32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes the city. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit better than he who takes the city. Tama? Pwede pa rin magalit, pero slow to anger. Qualified. Okay? A hot-tempered man. Meron bang hot-tempered man or woman? Man, pwedeng man and woman, ha? Sasabihin ng mga sisters, ay, ito yung asawa ko lang yan. Hindi, but man and woman yan. So, a hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention. So if you look at scriptures, brothers and sisters, there's a long list of scriptures that says, yes, anger is okay, it can be used, it will not condemn you, so you want to disabuse your minds from it, but you need to be cautious when you use this emotion. Righteous anger. In Romans 1 it says, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and wickedness of men who by their wickedness suppress the truth. In Romans 1, it shows that God shows anger. God is angry to people who are ungodly and who are wicked. So anger is okay. God does it. God gets angry, and He gets angry when He sees something wrong or harmful going on. And so, brothers and sisters, tayo on the side, we're all Christians here. We profess to be disciples of Christ. But remember, if God is angry, we need to watch out. Because He will act on ungodly things or harmful things. Okay? Jesus shows anger. In Mark 3 it says, And he looked around at them with anger, grieved at their hardness of heart, and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored. Ito yung nag-teach si Jesus during, kailan ba ito? Ha? Nagagalit siya kanino? Pharisees and Sadducees. Kasi dapat walang gagawin ng mga hiling kasi Sabbath. Okay? So nagalit si Jesus. Grieved at their hardness of heart. And then he continued with this miracle. St. Paul also gets angry, right? I am astonished that you are so quickly deserting him who called you in the grace of Christ and turning to a different gospel. O foolish Galatians! I pray na hindi tatawagin tayo ng O foolish Ligaya members. Who has bewitched you, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was publicly portrayed as crucified? Galit si St. Paul sa Galatians, right? Sinulatan pa niya, O foolish Galatians. Sa Tagalog kaya, mas masakit. Ano bang Tagalog sa foolish? Minsan sa English, pag binabasa, hindi masyado tama eh. Pero pag Tagalog, masakit yun foolish, pwedeng tawagin tanga, no? Mga tanga. O hangal. Diba? Mahirap yan. Ito pa matindi. Ito pa matindi. Anong sinabi ni St. Paul? I wish those who unsettle you would mutilate themselves. Hindi ba taong galit yun? Sumulat yan? Diba? Hindi naman sa Galatians ay mutilate. Yung mga taong nagpapagulo. Ginulo ang mga Galatians na undermine ang faith, na undermine ang covenant. Diba? Sa Panginoon. Kaya ang sabi ni St. Paul, sana, mutilate, susugat. Okay. Anyway, the point here is that anger has a place. Anger has a place. Okay. Righteous versus unrighteous anger. And so we say now, anger is not always bad. Right? Okay. Not always an expression of hatred towards others or opposed to love. So if we bring it down to the level natin, brothers and sisters, yung anger, okay, kailangan lang tayo maging cautious. Walang problema yung anger, pero kailangan tayo mag-cautious kasi kung Diyos tayo, perfect yung pag-implement natin ng anger. Pero kung tayo, kailangan tayo mag-ingat kasi mga tao tayo, di ba? Hindi lang nakapirienda, problema na yung pagkagalit, di ba? Nanginginig na sa galit, hindi na rational. So, it's not always an expression of hatred towards others or opposed to love, but we need to just be cautious about it. And so the question is, when is anger acceptable in the Christian life and when it's not? So we bring it down to some fundamental things at our level. Okay, scriptures, there was action of anger from God to Jesus to St. Paul and in Proverbs and so on. The guideline there for us, a general guideline, brothers and sisters, is when it is a response to something wrong or unjust that is happening. When we are responding to something that is wrong or unjust, okay, then anger is justified. Okay. Huwag niyo muna akong tanungin kung ano yung scope because it can be wide, no? But let's take it for that only. And the second one is when it is a response to something legitimate that we want to attain or to see happen. Okay? So kung alam natin ang pagpatay, masama, we need to respond against killing because that's wrong. On the other hand, we want to, for example, as I said kanina, may dadalhin kang pasyente sa ospital, you want to drive very fast, and maybe the emotion of anger is there. Nakatawid na ako sa EDSA, from Camias to Kamuning, kasi yung kasama ko sa bahay, namagana yung mukha kasi nag-allergy na, nahihirapan ng mukha. Okay? Kahit na pula yung Camias na traffic light, tinawid ko na ng... kung hindi ako galit or that emotion was not there, I wouldn't dare drive crossing to cross EDSA. But because there is a legitimate reason for that, diba? Or, for example, your son or your daughter already understands Tagalog, English. You can he or she can already understand what you're saying. And you tell your son or daughter not to do it or not to do something. Whatever that is. Maybe bawal mag-cross, dapat mag-overpass, dapat wag tumawid sa katupunan, dapat dumaan dyan sa overpass. Whatever. Basta alam mo na intindihan yung sinasabi, hindi sinundan, ayaw makinig, ano ang kailangang response sa atin? Okay lang yun. Tama ba yun? No way. Diba? You want my sons that were growing up, sinundo ko, may nakarinig na nitong kwento na ito sa akin. Sinundo ko, pagpasok sa sasakyan, sinundo ko ano? Nag-aaway, nagagalit. At mukhang nagtitigisan na is. So, ang ginawa ko, pinababa ko. Paglakad kayo, pagdating sa bahay, gusto ko na nag-ask na kayo ng forgiveness sa isa't isa. So, minsan natawa ako, kaya may mga pinuntahan para sunduin kasi malayo ka. Eto ngayon, para maturo at saka nagalit ako kasi tinuruan naman namin silang mag-ask ng forgiveness na mag-usap bilang maayos. Hindi. Diba? Kung sabi ko, bumaba kayo, maglakad kayo, aantay ako sa bahay, pagdating ko sa bahay, sasabihin, nasabi nyo na yung please forgive me sa isa't isa at pagdating doon sa bahay. Okay? So, a response of anger because you want to see good come out of it. Okay? Huwag nyo lang tanong kung sino sa mga anak ko kasi nasa community pa naman. Okay. Righteousness versus unrighteous anger. Anger is righteous when its object is righteous. Okay? Anger, kasi a question, paano maging righteous yung anger? It is righteous when the object of your anger is righteous. Now, not just trying to get to know, kasi we need, yun ang sinasabi natin, kailangan tayo, bilang mga tao lang, mag-ingat konti. Hindi tayo binabawalan, pero mag-iingat dito sa area ng anger, because we need to ask ourselves, are we just trying to get our own way? Diba? Kunwari nagagalit ka sa misis mo, pero yung pala gusto mo lang talaga pag uwi sa bahay, patulog na kagad, na hindi ka nakakausapin. Diba? Kasi gusto mo na, maligo ka muna. Sabi ng misis mo, maligo ka muna. Ayaw mong maligo, kaya pagdating sa bahay, kunwari nagalit ka sa misis mo, para makatulog ka na kagad. May drama pa kayo dyan, mga brothers, ganyan? Diba? Or something similar. Anyway, not just trying to get rid of something that is bothering us. Diba? It's something that's personal. Then it does not become a righteous anger. Right? If, for these two things, if there is no compelling reason why it would be right or good for something to go the way we prefer it to, then it is not a righteous anger. Okay? So we need to reflect. Now, on the other hand, anger that could be righteous sometimes becomes unrighteous if we let it get out of control. Anong example nung righteous anger ang umpisa, pag habang patagal, naging unrighteous? Nag-drive ako again. Emergency tendency, namamagana yung mukha, mabagal yung nasa harap, binubusinahan ko na, nagmura ako. Ang anger na righteous, nagiging unrighteous. Diba? Inisigawan ko na kasi nagalit, out of control. So, on one hand, we need to take care that there is that objective that is righteous, but we make sure it does not go out of control. Okay? Now, how should we handle our anger in difficult situations? First one, suppressing anger. Okay? So, nag-umpisa tayo, lalo na mga bata pa tayo, kasama ako doon, bata pa ako. Ayaw maniwala, nabiilin mo pa. Okay? Pag galit, talagang you let fly. Talagang may marinig ka agad yung kabilang party. O nasuntok mo na, o napalo mo na, o na, di ba? Sa office, ganyan. Basketball lang na siko ng konti, nainit na, tapos babawi na. Ganyan, di ba? But you know, over time, alam mo na, mukhang wala naman kayo, walang narating na maayos. So, ang nagiging resulta, sinusuppress na lang yung anger. Nandiyan pa rin yung galit. Pero sinusuppress na, hindi na sinasabi. Kaya habang tumatanda, tama ba ito? Habang tumatanda, tumataas ng blood pressure. Suppress na, hindi na ilalabas. Okay, habang bata pa. Okay. And so, one way of handling anger, and it's not the most, that's not the recommended way, is you suppress your anger. Decided that as soon as they feel angry, that means that they cannot handle the situation. The problem there kasi is that if it were not guided well, ang nagiging resulta sa isip natin is because of the past na hindi na control yung anger ko at nagka-leche-leche, napaaway ako kung ano-ano, napunta pa sa korte, ganyan, wag na lang. Pag nagagalit na ako, wag na. I will suppress it. So as soon as I feel angry, ang isip ko is, hindi ko na makokontrol ito. Takot ako magalit. Kasi pag naggalit ako, nandidilim yung paningin ko, yung taong nasa katabi ko, naputulan ko na ng ulo. Hindi, ano? Or may nabaril na ako, or may napukpok na ako, or may nabinangga ko na, or whatever. Di ba? So, para hindi umabot na ganun, di ba? Ayaw ko na lang magalit. So, suppress ko na lang. Because I know I cannot handle it. Okay? So, now, justified anger. As I've said, suppressed anger, suppressing it, is not the way to do it. No? Okay. How should we handle our anger in difficult situations? No? So justified anger. If we want a righteous and good response, okay, we need to decide whether the anger we have is justified or in some way appropriate. So there is a step backward. Alam mo naman tayo, we are not, sinasabi nga ng mga psychologists, hindi naman tayo hayop. Ako nang galing, sabi nga, hindi tayo hayop. We are able to separate, not only physically, but mentally, from a situation. We can put a distance. Right? And so some of us, na hindi sanay, parang hayop ka agad. Kasi sinikom ako, palo ka agad. Di ba? Pero pag over time, sinikom ako, nakapag-isip muna ako, ay, mukhang lumalang pala. So, nakapag-isip. So, that's something that we can grow into. We decide, we think, we deliberate whether the anger that we have is justified or in some way appropriate. Okay? Now, things that we need to check through our minds is having our, now, Is my will just crossed? Ito yung gusto ko, pero ayaw mo kasama. Kaya galit ka ako. Pero baka sa sarili ko lang yun. Or is there something that's going on that I should be angry about? Maybe there's really not. Okay? So we need to take stock, to pause and say, yeah, is it justified? Many times we know without thinking about it that something is wrong and we should be angry about it. Right? Marami namang sitwasyon na alam mo pa lang sa sitwasyon, kailangan mo nang magalit. Okay? But more often, we do not know if that anger, if it's right for us to be angry with the situation. Okay? And so, what we need to do, as it said in Scripture, be slow in anger. Until we know whether it's right to get angry or not. Okay? Normally or usually, if we do this, brothers and sisters, walang damage na mangyayari. Okay? Kaya lang sasabihin naman nila, on the other hand, because of slow to anger, kung dapat magalit, hindi na nagalit, so wala naming, di ba? So it's a growing into. No? Everybody, including us, including me, we need to grow on how to discern the right response when we are faced with a situation that is, whether there is a response that is an angry response or the other response. In Proverbs 19 it says, good sense makes a man slow to anger. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Think through. Do not let your emotion, di ba tinuturo sa atin? Emotions is good, but you do not depend your response on your emotions. Sinabi ba yun? Baka I'm making my own teaching na. Okay. Ang sinasabi, you think through. So, ang sinabi sa Proverbs 19, good sense. Anong ibig sa good sense? Is it feeling? No. Good sense is thinking. It's a thought process. Good sense makes a man slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Una, pag-isipan. Pangalawa, baka naman pwedeng i-let go. Ay, hindi mo pwede ito. And yet, dito in Proverbs, it is his glory to overlook an offense. And let's look at that, overlooking an offense. Okay? Good sense makes a man slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Letting the matter go if we cannot do something constructive in the situation. If there's nothing constructive out of it, diba? Let it go. Hindi pwede. Iisip, paano ba yun? If we cannot get the situation changed for the better. Sinasabi nila, driving in Manila brings out the worst in you. Diba? Meron nag-cut. Hindi nag-signal. Sabi nga ni isang brother, sinigawan niya yung isang driver, libre naman mag-signal at hindi ka nag-signal. Hindi mag-away. Brother yun, hindi ko sasabihin mo sino. Pero anyway, kinat. And the worst, hindi nag-signal. Pero since ikaw, nag-ingat ka sa pag-drive, nakapag-preno ka na, anong gagawin mo? Dati, hindi ko lang sasabihin. You let go. Diba? Because what can you really do? Diba? Okay. I'm tempted to share, pero sabi nga ni John, to share only the positive and good things. Okay. Justified anger. Romans 12. Beloved, never avenge yourselves. Kasi anong gagawin mo dun? Revenge. Diba? Kinat mo ako, ikakatin kita. Diba? Sa driving lang to, maraming example dyan. I'm sure maraming nakangiti, may naiisip kayo. Okay. Beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. On cases that you cannot do anything about, right? You cannot do any constructive thing about it. If you can do something about it, then because of our anger, we will do something about it. But an example, like sinabi ko sa driving, maybe you have other better examples, okay, what can you really do? You let go. Baka naman kasi, mas malaki ang problema niya. Alam mo kadalasan, ang naisip ko, yung ibang driver, mas malaking problema kaysa sa akin. Kaya, that helps me to let them go. That's fairly recent development on my part. I'm growing. Psalm 37, refrain from anger. Nababasa niyo ba? Okay. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the wicked shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall possess the land. Okay? If acting on anger or wrath will only bring bad results, that is, evil results, we need to leave the matter to God. Nabaril mo, nabato mo, di ba? Na mura mo, wala naman talagang mayari. The result is evil. Let it go. Let God handle it. Diba? Sa practice of some constructive anger. Meron bang constructive anger? Kasi alam ko dati pag anger, wasak-wasak eh, di ba? Okay. It is justified to get angry, and by doing so, we can make a change for the good in the situation. And that means that it becomes constructive anger if we channel our anger in a constructive way. Diba? What's a good example of anger in a constructive way? Disciplining children. I'm really aghast. Ang dalim ng English ko ah. Ano ba meaning ng aghast? But I'm really aghast. Wala ako ibang maisip na term eh. Nakikita ko yung mga bata hindi dinidisiplina ng mga bata. Ano ba bata? Yung mga magulang. Yung mga magulang parang bata lang kasi. Diba? And so, you cannot discipline children if there is no degree of anger. I tell you, if you feel fine, you feel joyful, you will never discipline your children. It will not motivate you to discipline. And yet, that anger becomes a constructive way to grow, develop, make your children grow in such a way. Becomes a constructive way. Did you get it, brothers and sisters? What I'm saying? Wala. Okay. Anger motivates us. And we often should take advantage of our anger and act. On one hand, we say, slow down, think through it. But also, on the other hand, use it so that you can do something that is good. Now, paradoxically, another English word, okay, hindi ko palagi nakikita ito. Paradoxically, anger can lead to the fruit of the Spirit. That emotion of anger can grow in us the fruit of the Spirit. If anger motivates us to be patient, to persevere in keeping at something, diba? Meron kang kailangan tapusin, meron kang kailangan dinidisiplina yung anak mo, kailangan mong kompletuhin yung project, pagod ka na, kailangan mong tapusin anyway. Or if it motivates us to zeal for getting something accomplished, like evangelization and so on and so forth, there has to be that kind of basis. And because of that emotion, that anger, it helps us, it allows God to grow in us the fruit of the Spirit. What are the fruit of the Spirit? Fruits ba o fruit? Fruits or fruit? Fruit, because there are two teachings na dito, ano? And dito naman yung coordinator for initiation, so i-clarify na lang natin. But it allows us to become the whole, the person that we were meant to be from the eyes of God. We are people in love, who are joyful, who can persevere, who is patient, who can be kind and loving, and that kind of emotion of anger can help us move or achieve that in that direction. Then our anger can help us to develop these character traits which belong to the fruit of the Spirit. Next, how should we settle in anger in different situations? Settle quickly or forbear. Okay? One of the places of anger that can cause most trouble is in personal relationships with community. I tell you, brothers and sisters, sino na dito 10 years sa community? 10 years. Okay, except yung mga anak ng mga member ng community. 15 years, naman? More? Or less than 10 years lahat dito? Okay, kasi pag more than 10 years na, hindi na kayo dapat nag-aaral. Tapos na dapat yung talks, di ba? Okay. When you stay in the community, as in any family, there will be challenges in relationships. Eh kung pag-asawa nga, may alitan pa, may mga magkakapatid. Dito pa kayo sa community, magkakano pa tayo, hindi naman tayo magkakano. Di ba? And so, those kinds of difficulties in community, in relationships, and so anger can cause a lot of this trouble if we are not careful or we do not follow ways of being able to address it. Okay? And there are two ways. When there is anger, that we're angry with another brother or sister. One is settle it quickly. Ano bang pag sinabing settle it quickly? Sinasabi nga sa mag-asawa, don't let the anger, ano ba? Don't let the sun, don't let the sun set on your anger. Pero ganun ba yun? Okay. Eh, paano kung inaantok na ako? Lalo lumala kasi binulog pa ako. Diba? The point of that is to settle it as quickly as possible. You don't take it literally, but the idea is that as soon as possible, you work towards settling the relationship with me. And the other one, as a good alternative, is to forbear. Okay, in Ephesians 4:26, it says, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Ang ibig sabihin lang yan, huwag niyong patagalin sa anger. To forbear, good sense makes a man slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. That's another phrase that we have. In Colossians 3, it says, forbearing one another, if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. To forbear, to forgive. Okay? Surrender. How to handle problems with anger? Surrender. Okay? Ang pulot-dulo kasi ng mga item, issues na nagagalit tayo is hindi pa natin na-surrender sa Panginoon. Hindi pa natin na-ilalantad sa cross ng Panginoon. Sinasabi nga nila. The root of problems with anger is that we have not surrendered something or that thing to the Lord. Because we are still attached to it. And it's triggering that. It's affecting us. And so, we need to surrender it. As soon as we're conscious about it, we want to offer it to the Lord. The solution here is to grow in surrendering things to the Lord. It's difficult to surrender things, right? To the Lord, there are a lot of things that we are attached to. Even if we're already professed Christians, we're disciples, we're evangelizing, we're being in community for 20 years, 30 years, there's still a lot of things that we need to surrender to the Lord. And the solution is to not surrender everything kagad, but on every day, small surrender, small step, all the way. In the end, you will realize. In my own experience is like that. I realized that a number of things that I have done, I realized, paano nangyari? I did not realize that it because over the years, pero huwag nyo naman paabutin kagaya ng sa akin na 40 years na, meron pang issues, di ba? But, it takes time. For me at least. Difficult. In 1 Corinthians 13, it says, love does not exist on its own way. It's a remedy. Love does not insist on its own way. In Romans 8, it says, we know that in everything God works for good for those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. Third, resentment. What has happened to us or over something that has not happened. And so, we look at scriptures and say, love is not irritable or resentful. Diba? And so it's something that we need to turn to the Lord and say, yeah, in some of these areas in the past, Lord, I'm resentful for these people, this here. We need to bring it before the Lord. Next one. Problems with anger or results of anger is because of pressure. Be it from our family, from our work, diba? From a lot of things. Our schedules, traffic, financial issues. Ay, hindi naman financial, yung mga utang. Diba? Kasi pag may pera, sabi nga ng pan wala naman kaming problema sa pera eh. Problema namin yung wala kaming pera. Diba? Kasi kung may pera, wala namang problema. Diba? Anyway, so the point here is the pressure that's coming out of that. And you need to make some changes. My son is sharing to me very recently. Sabi niya, magkakasakit ako, magulo yung isip ko, ganyan gusto ko nang umalis, may ganyan. Kasi, teka, son, you slow down, take a break, maybe write some things down, but don't act yet. Diba? Pause. Muna. So, here I'm saying, by doing less, or trying for less, because maybe our training is to achieve high standards, but then it's putting a lot of undue pressure because everything else sabay-sabay. Or just putting good order in the lives. Like I asked my son, sabi ko, what is that? Maybe you need to put order. Schedule mo ba? Nakaplano ba gagawin? Kaya mo. Or, sometimes you just need to accept the fact that you will this is just a season. Panahon lang talaga na kailangan tapusin. And knowing that after a few months, matatapos na. Hopefully. Diba? So, mawala yung pressure. We need to do something to reduce the overall level of frustration we are experiencing. Inhibitions and for fearfulness, I leave that to the next speaker. Finally, how do we handle problems with anger? Realize that God is in charge. Brothers and sisters, God is the key to change. Diba? We work on it on our own, we will be disappointed. We will be successful, but we will not be happy with the kind of success we're doing because we're doing it on our own. We need God's grace. I always tell brothers and sisters, married couples or singles, and say, if you are trying to do God's will, you ask God's help. 100% the Lord will help you. Why? Because you're trying to do His will. And so God will help you. God will help you. And if for our case now, we want to change. We want to be more patient. We want to be more persevering. We want to handle issues on anger. We turn to God. God is the key. Brothers and sisters, God wants us to change. God wants to change us. And He will if we let Him. If we let Him. We have to trust Him with our lives. We have to trust Him with our lives. Thank you, brothers and sisters.